Hey, journeyman, journeywomen, this is Heroes Journey with Dr. D. All right, let me see what we doing here, what we doing. All right, let me pull this up and pull this away. This Heroes Journey with Dr. D coming to you on Wednesday night live broadcast. And so let me make sure if any discrepancies in my sound, please let me know. I'm put the chat up, so please talk to me at will. All right. Okay. Here we go. This is the Hero's Journey with Dr. D, here to inspire, to encourage, to motivate, to educate, and to help you get beyond your first move. If you find any value in this content, go ahead and give me a thumbs up and like and share. But when you help me help you so we can help others. So by liking and sharing, what you do is you help climb with me and you help come with me so we can make a better tomorrow today. Oh, you all know what time it is. My light ain't showing like I wanted to show. Oh, that light is showing, but I'm on the wrong one. I'm on the wrong one. All right, there it is. There's the light. There's the light. All right. Okay, I see you, Paul. Give me thumbs up. Okay, let me know if I'm clear or not. All right, this is a Hero's Journey with Dr. D here, and then know what time it is. Today is recap, the update, and the Q&A. And first, we are starting. Oh, we know what the recap is about. The recap is about. Let me see. I need to bring my mic a little bit closer. I need to talk a little bit louder. Y'all tell me what y'all hear and what y'all don't hear. But the recap is we, we, we're doing a series on emotional intelligence. And emotional intelligence, last week we talked about self-awareness. Now, the second point in emotional intelligence that we will be discussing tonight, we will be talking about self-management. See, the thing is, you cannot manage what you're not aware of. So that's why the first tenet of emotional intelligence is first you need to be aware. A lot of people go through life not aware of what they're doing, where they're going, and where they are for the most part. And so therefore, to be intelligent emotionally, we there's a lot of emphasis on IQ, and that's good. But you're not aware where you are, and your emotions are out of whack. Don't nobody want to be around you. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about now. What we're talking about is that self-awareness, not self, but self-management is that self-management is a place where when you perceive, when your perception, after you're aware, when you're triggered, what happens is that you're aware that you've been triggered and your emotions have been highlighted or they're stimulated. So once you become aware that your emotions have been stimulated, then the goal is to manage your emotions. What's happened is that individuals don't manage their emotions because they go from 0 to 100 in 2 seconds flat. See, what happens is that when the gateway to your emotions is through your senses. You got your sight, you got your smell, you got your touch, you got your feeling, your touch, your feeling, you got your hearing. You have your five senses, and these are what allow you to perceive or to receive your connection to the external, which is out. The external is what's outside of your body. If your external is outside your body and you are receiving, when you pull it in, it connects emotionally. Now, what it does, it hits the lower part of your brain stem, which connects to your limbic system. Your limbic system is what processes your emotions. And a lot of people don't know this. It processes your emotions. So everything's triggered, it goes there. And the thing that happens when people don't have sufficient management of their emotions is that they are half baked or sometimes baked too much. So they may go whoop or they may go too slow. They don't have any balance. And a lot of times people don't have balance because they're not aware. They're not aware, and they don't take time to be aware of who they are and their feelings, the air, the smell of a flower, um, feeling the breeze, or hearing things, or just taking in what's around them, so they can tune in what's inside of them. So what happens is that when you get triggered, when your emotions get triggered, your lower part of your brain stem shoots up to the limbic system, and what happens then it starts happening. Okay, all right. So what? I got you, Phil. So what happens? It shoots up high. It shoots up, and you don't know how to manage it. People haven't taken time to manage it. They have not been taught how to manage it. So therefore, they grow up prematurely. They're smart as a whip. They can do the things regular people can do, but they can't maintain a relationship. And not just a romantic relationship. They can't maintain a relationship at work. They can't maintain a relationship on the athletic team. They can't, and they definitely can't maintain a relationship romantically, because they don't know how to control themselves. So every little thing the spouse do, they go off. Every little thing their brother or their sister do, they go off. They can't control themselves. So the management is that, and what happens, and I talked about this in the video. And what happens is that you have an emotional hijack, which is amygdala hijack. What happens is a part in the limbic system that deals with the emotion, and I am going to do a video about that more in depth, about the amygdala hijack, because a lot of people walk around and they're hijacked every day. And the misconception is that you only hijack into a negative form. Oh man, I can't believe you did that. Oh, and you just snap. Something hits you and triggers the emotions. And remember, I talked about in the previous videos that your emotions trigger memory. And well, your memory triggers emotion, which triggers a feeling, because they all wrap together. And then you shoot up because you don't know how to maintain, don't know how to manage that emotion, and you don't know how to funnel it or channel it to be effective for you. See, in one area is when things seem like you just snapping off, or you may be snapping off and getting highly irate, or you may hit something may hit you, and then you may get severely depressed. Like I stated in the video, it could be you can be hitting 195% of the times, and then it's that 96th time you hit wrong, and then you get very depressed, or you get mad at the team, and mad at yourself, and you don't know how to funnel it, and you don't look at the process, what happened, and how can you make better tomorrow, or how did you mess up, or you just miscalculated. Because with life, you have errors, and you may fail. But the goal is to fail a lot of times so you can learn from the failures, so you can ultimately be a success. So that's negatively, but positively, you can get the big head. Yeah, I used the instruction in the video to talk about Eric Dixon's was an example of mine, is that you can be a great athlete, great running back, and you can be breaking Hall of Famer, but you can't run the ball without a line consistently and thinking that the line is you walk on water, because you don't walk on water. We all know who walk on water, and you're not that person. But what happens is that you get elated with the situation and thinking that you all that, but you have not evaluated the situation with the emotion at that time. So it's a negative as a positive for a burst of hijacking that takes effect. So that's why management is important. It's important we teach our children, and if we are not aware at this current time, it's important that we learn. We learn from our mistakes, and keep on moving. Keep on moving, but take time to evaluate ourselves because the true battle is inside, not outside. So that's my recap, people. My recap and my update is I pretty much stated that I will be doing the video on the third phase, the third tenet of emotional intelligence, and it's not romance. And then but probably the very following video, as I stated earlier, is I will be doing amygdala hijack and explaining how we are being hijacked on the regular. And not only am I going to explain how we are being hijacked on the regular, but how can you deal with the constant berating of being hijacked? All right. So, with all that being said, where my water at? We open up Q&A. So I'm going to my or anybody on? Anybody on? Anybody on? Let me put y'all on. I don't see anybody waiting for me. I sent somebody a link. It ain't coming on. They're coming on. So I got my chat section. Chat section to the side. I sent the link to Lee, but I don't seem like he's coming on. But we'll see. If it pops up, I'll bring him in. But this is Q&A section. So I'm going over to my right hand side. So right hand side, and I'm going down the list of my chat. So anybody else on, let me know. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a link on in the chat section. So anybody wants to get on that way, then you get on that way. Yeah, I'll put you in the back room, bring you up on the screen, and then you can communicate at will. All right, invite guests. All right. Copy the link. We're here. Paste. Oh, Lord, I got a couple people. All right, I put some links on. All right, so let me look see anybody in the back room. Not yet. Let me cut this stuff off. Q&As, Q&As. I'm coming to the questions, y'all. I'm coming to the questions. All right, top to bottom, top to bottom. I have 3 different screens. Paul says she got 3 different screens, different sections of the video. Are you live? Yes, I am live. I have a multi-stream. It's going different areas. Okay. All right. I'm here on YouTube, not Melon. I got you. So how many parts in total on this series? Phil asked the question, how many parts on this total series? It was going to be 4, but I decided to do amygdala hijack. Hijack, I think, is a important one to explain in detail. All right. Okay. Let me take you off, Phil. That. Next one is try to get the Munchkin to come on and watch. He may make it yet. Well, we will see. All right. Okay. Phil think he said 4. We're here. Got that part. Okay. Hey, Lori. Hi, Lori. Hi. Oh, okay. Phil's here. I'm popping you in, Phil. Uh, I hear that delay. Cut the television down. I hear my delay, Phil. Paula, can you see us, Dr. D? Yes, I can see you, Doc. Phil was on, but he went off. Okay, he had to go on Melon. Andy trying, but has to take his wife to get a new leg. I hope she gets a new leg. I really do. I'm not being facetious. I hope she's doing better than she was doing. All right. Any questions, people? Any questions? All right. My favorite lady and Phil. Hello. Can we hear it? Can you hear me, Phil? Phil, can you hear me? All right, Phil, can you hear me?
What happened to your sound? I can't hear.
Oh, Lord. You can't hear me.
I don't hear any sound.
Okay, hold on. Hello. All right, you can hear me now. Hello, Phil. Phil, you should hear me. All right, policy. I think she's all right. I feel. All right, you hear me good. All right. Phil stepped out for a second. Okay, good. I'm glad she's all right. He took the kids to school. To school. All right. Oh, anybody got a song for me? Ah, ooh, yeah, I think it was on Luther's birthday. Superstar, I'm in the sky. I'm gonna. Hello, hey Phil, you here?
Hello, hello.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, I got you.
I can hear you.
Okay, good. You got any questions for me?
Okay, but I don't see my.
I see you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hello, journeymen and women. Hello, journeymen and women.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think it's okay. You got a question? I'm asking yours, Paula. Uh, I think it's a good verdict. I didn't watch. I didn't watch any of the trial. Paul's asking me about the trial. I think great verdict because if it wasn't that, I think it would have been a big riot, a big riot. All right, Paul, got another question. How does emotional intelligence play into gatherings like at the court? Well, the it played. Okay, how does let me put this on the screen. This is a good question. This is a good question, Paula. Um, Paula's actually talking about the George Floyd trial, and she's actually how does emotional intelligence play that part in into gatherings like at the courthouse? Well, it plays based on the core of the masses. How it plays is that the core of the masses can dictate uh, the spread of the spread of civility or chaos, meaning that first the core is structuring. They're structuring a certain type of a gathering. Now you're gonna have friends, you're gonna have people on the outside and people on the outside who are not part of that core. You have different facets to come in, and they may distort the whole the core's purpose. But first, they're aware of why they're there and what is the purpose, and everybody's coming for the same cause. Now, for different fringe elements, because everybody has different purposes. But the core it spreads that. That's why I talk about the video. Talk about herd, the herd mentality. The herd spreads. The herd behavior. It spreads whether it's positive or negative. It does spread, regardless. So that's it does affect. The first they're aware, and then they have to manage their being aware. They manage their emotion because you're gonna have some emotions, but the thing is not just having them; it's about managing that emotion. All right. Okay. And Paul, you said, let me see. Uh, so this being Paul, why don't you just get on? Oh, you can't. Let me know if you can. So this being a release for people. The positive outcome was a good emotional intelligence versus those peeps at the yeah, yeah. It was a positive one in the sense that it was controlled. It's controlled. However, if the results wasn't like that, you do not know what the fringe would have stimulated. I don't know the numbers that I was out there. Yeah, you don't know what the fringe would have stimulated. And you could sometimes you have people that's just like the riots, a lot of riots that was taking place. It wasn't any people that's protesting. It was some people just out there just trying to get stuff started because they knew that it was some fury in the hearts of the people who were protesting based on the wrongs that were done. But they wanted to get something started. Like Michael Jackson said, want to be starting something, gotta be starting something. Stuck in the middle, yeah, yeah. Mannequin under, yeah, yeah. I forgot the rest. But I hope I answered your question. But Paula, why don't you get on?
Okay, so does that mean I can answer a question now?
Oh yeah, yeah. Go ahead. Answer the question. And Paula, why don't you get on? These are good questions, but why don't you get on? Let me know if you can't. I can imagine. Okay. Go ahead. Go ahead, Phil.
It's a you that
Go one eye
doing
girl.
it because I don't want all of it. Why are you playing with that one-eyed purple girl?
Okay, I got you.
Can you hear me?
I heard some distortion.
Hear me?
What you say?
Is
Repeat,
that
please.
better?
I hear you.
Is that better?
Yes.
Oh, I have a question for you. What if
Ask
your
what.
spouse is in a emotional wreck?
Repeat.
What if your spouse is an emotional wreck?
Full sentence, please.
What if your spouse is an emotional wreck?
What's the question?
How do you handle that?
Get some blessed oil and pray for it. No. Um, she needs to handle herself. How old is your spouse?
That was no, that was her observation about me.
That you're emotional wreck. Evaluate it.
I
If okay, this is what you do. If you don't feel that is a accurate assessment of you, you ask two or three people that you know ain't gonna lie to you and tell them be totally honest. And if those two or three people that you know ain't gonna lie to you tell you something that's similar to those lines, maybe not that extreme because you don't live with those other people, but it'd be some hint of truth. And then you go see help because you can't. It's not that you can't see what you do because you do stuff automatically, and so you need somebody outside of you. There's nothing wrong with it to help you with some tools or to help you cope with it or to process a little better or to manage your emotions more effectively. That answer your question?
yes.
Okay. Uh, okay. Paula says, I can imagine. I know I've been emotional. It would have been hard to control them. I watched. Oh, okay, going back to the riots. She said I watched the Rodney King riots and it was crazy. Um, I'm just reading because she got some good stuff. I'm just going through her stuff. What is your spouse? Okay, all right. I answer stuff. All right. Any more? Any more questions?
Tell me three things I can do to really discover myself. Then is there a self test
Set an appointment with a therapist.
outside of therapy? What are three things I can do on my own?
uh, Pick up a phone, call a therapist. No, no, call a counselor.
Okay, so turn the question around then.
Hmm.
What if I think Paula asked the question before in one of the other sessions about how can you get your spouse to be more considerate or can get them to look on or see things from your perspective. Because I think sometimes sometimes we know that we have problems, and it may not be that I'm a wreck and I need to have medicine and lay on a couch somewhere for a doctor to charge me $300 an hour or something like that. But it may just be that I just have some things that I need to deal with.
Paula, said, Paula said that wasn't her. She said she don't have a spouse. Let me see what
Okay.
she said. What is your spouse? Is motion wreck? She says. Paula says. I'm putting stuff up here. Duck and cover. Then she says, talk softly. And then she says, Phil, Dr. D helped me back from the emotional brink for real. Our sessions probably saved my. Paulie made me want to cry. No, but she tell the truth.
Don't cry, doctor. You can't cry. We come to you.
See, that's a fallacy. Men can cry. Men can cry. No, but seriously, she was telling you.
We come to you for help.
What'd you say? She said. She said, yeah. She said, it's true. Um, well, I helped Paul out. She said I helped her, Paula. She's on the brink, and but what it is that it's about evaluation of yourself, and you have to be willing to do the work. If you're not doing the work, then you're not going to do the work. It's always going to be somebody else's problem, and not only is it going to be somebody else's problem, it's going to be somebody else's fault. If you did this, I wouldn't did this, and so therefore you're always on the response or react. You're more reactionary than proactive. And it's difficult to deal with somebody who's always reacting on everything, and so you have to kind of evaluate yourself. You have to evaluate your thoughts. Remember, I said that uh the the work the work is never external; it's always internal, and you cannot change somebody else, but you can change yourself. And 99% of how we live and what we do in life is not about what people do to us or what they say about us. It's always about how we respond. And there lies the work. How do you respond when somebody's doing things that piss you off? That's work, but it's always a choice. You can choose to do the work or not. You ain't got to deal with it. Peace. Or if you want to deal with, if you think it's worth dealing with, deal with it. And it's not dealing with the person, it's dealing with yourself. Some people it's like it's not worth it, so they leave. Maybe they're doing a person a favor or they're doing themselves a favor. Who knows? Only the person knows. That makes sense? That makes sense, Phil?
Yeah, I'm shaking my head.
Uh, yeah. L'Oreal says, okay, let me read these out loud. All right, you got a couple people. Got a couple people on. Now, Paula says, I'm gonna go from. Paula says, in coping skills, you taught me how to recognize and set boundaries. Yeah, because yeah, I tell you, Paula's really nice. Sometimes them being too nice can hurt you, but you can have your boundaries and still have a certain level of civility. You have to realize some people that they realize that you're easy pushover. It's not a pushover, but you somebody's never sat down and helped them with boundaries, and so and that's what she was referring to. That's what Paul was referring to, and L'Oreal says she says I'm not doing the work. It can become very expensive. Well, it can. It can be very expensive. But like I told Phil, and I told Paula too. Well, this week, I promise y'all, I'm going to open up the private Facebook group and private Facebook group for journeymen, journeywomen, and so therefore, even if you don't do the record session, you still have um you have some type of connection with me. So and I will refer. I'm not refer, but I will communicate private Facebook uh, uh, certain things you all going through. However, if it gets in depth, then I'll send a private message and say we need to do a session. But some things are not as in depth. But sometimes you just need to get it out, and just get a response. And if you all can support me with the podcast and YouTube channel with the donation supports, I think Paul has done it and Phil has done it. Then you can do that. The very minimum that I'll do the yeah I'm doing a private Facebook group only for those who are supporters. Okay. All right. Let's go further down. So so that cuts out on the expense, Lola. All right. Let me see what Paula said. Paula says, okay. Now, I hope you don't mind me reading this stuff out loud. I have spent the last 2 weeks evaluating my relationship with people. And she says, I'm tired of being taken advantage of. And after 2 weeks of self pity, finally decided, okay, some people are just crap. It is what it is. You got to look at the pros and cons. If the cons outweigh the pros, then you can love a person from a distance. And I concur. And you don't have to let that affect your internal. Uh, all right. Uh, Hey, Paulette, it's up to me how I feel about it. Time to let go and move on. I couldn't have done that before our sessions. Thank you, Paul. I appreciate that. Y'all hear that, people? Um, it's up to me. Okay. All right. Are they real chatty? I wish people could. Nah, Paul, I'm saying you're not feeling good. So I get that. But Lord, lie, you could have came on. Oh. Oh, my apologies. Well, My apologies. That's what came across. You said, "You know, I meant to say, in not doing the work can become expensive." Okay, got you. I agree. I agree. $500. Yeah, but need to be green. Okay, remind me. I have something to tell you from the VA due today. Okay, you talking private session? Okay, I will remind you. Any more questions, don't feel?
Yeah. You
Yeah, I'm
listening?
listening.
Can you
Hey, you perfectly.
you can hear me?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. When do you let go?
Yep.
Paula and L'Oreal brought up that question about okay, things being too expensive, things being too to me time consuming. You want me to give you 120% and you want to give me 5%. And okay, so at one point that in terms of a relationship, what about professionally, co-workers,
Or one at a
business
time.
partners?
One at a time. You said 120%. Well, I think L'Oreal, she actually expounded. She said she meant that if you don't and not doing the work, it can become expensive because things add up. Because you think if you think things just wrote, oh, it be all right. It pass. It don't pass. It don't pass. It passes. It multiplies. It's like dropping a. Have you ever had a real clean kitchen? I had this happen before. Cleaned the kitchen. Oh, it's nice, but it's middle of summertime. We in the south. Drop one drop of Kool Aid in the middle of the floor. Came back the next morning. Is a trail of ants. Did the drop evaporate? No. It multiplied. It brought on other things that were on unwanted. So,
No, you had an ant problem before then,
n-
because I had
it's,
an ant problem.
well,
So there were
well, what happened? No, what happens is that it doesn't matter. Ants they get into cracks, whatever.
issues that
What's that? Ants getting ants getting to cracks.
no I'm
What
sometimes issues exist. And you don't deal with
sometimes issues? What?
you have an issue
Mm-hmm.
and you're not dealing with apply the situation.
Okay, you have an issue, and repeat again.
I said you had an underlying issue anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So you saw all of those ants and they just brought it to your attention. They were always there.
Oh, I was waiting. There's always there, always waiting. But isn't that like how relationships are? I mean,
Yep.
was a business. There was an issue. You just wasn't aware of it until you had a trail of ants in your kitchen. So that way, so it happens. I think that happens for most of us. Is it that we keep on doing things over and over again, thinking thing is copacetic, so to speak. Lawyer, I said clean up. This is a long time ago. I did clean up. It was spotless. It's one drop of Kool Aid, and in the south, and ants come. I notice I said ants. I did not say roaches. Okay, so now, so what
Mhm.
happens is that I was responding to Laura. I think she's trying to make it funny. Um, so what happens? I think in like relationships, at work, whatever, you things. we do a lot of different things automatically, and we're just not consciously aware that we're doing them until it blows up in our face, and we realize we've been doing it for 20 years. Until, and a lot of times you don't realize, you don't have the privilege of getting understanding what you're doing until you have somebody close enough to tell you about yourself. Those generally people that can really get it. Those are the people that get on your nerve. But also, those are the people that are the most honest with you because they know you more than anybody else. But can you receive the honesty? Sometimes it may shoot like in managing your emotions. Sometimes they can say something that shoot you to the moon. And if you cannot deal with that, in some cases it's good to remove yourself from that situation so you can bring yourself down and you can process what that trigger means and how you need to deal with it going forward. Because if you're not equipped, you're just not equipped. No need to keep on fussing and hollering and screaming. Only a only a fool looks. Only a person who's hollering back at the other person is the biggest fool than the person who's hollering. Two fools like they're fools. They're really fools hollering at each other. Don't make sense. You stupid. You stupid. I hate you. I hate you.
I rather
What did you say?
in the room and
Let
slam
me
the
see.
door.
Well, that's how they dealing with it. Right, that's how they deal with it. Now, if they deal with it temporary like that, then say okay, they need to come down. But then you have to say you can't change them, but you can change how you respond. Let's see what Paula says she need to get help. Fourth dude, the therapy finally took. So yeah, not dealing with issues is cost me. Okay. Um, yeah, the biggest thing is Phil. It has nothing to do with the other person. Have you ever had your radio on the counter and you try to get this radio station and you got to turn on the right knob on the right area so what you can see, and so you turn it and it's not working. It's still static, but you want to get to that station, so you have to move the radio around, and you still moving the knob trying to adjust it. Have you ever had that happen?
Yes, and you just described. I was gonna say sometimes you got to move around because depending on where you are in the city, you can't get KKC. Not real clear.
But you got to move around. You have you have to adjust not just the knob but yourself. You have to adjust yourself to get the reception that you need so you can understand and so you can hear. It's the same side on the other end. You see the onus is on the person controlling the knob. If you're trying to if you're trying to send a message, you need to make sure that the frequency is clear so the person can receive the message. Now they to you can understand it, but to them it sounds like alien. So you have to adjust it. And then you may have to adjust it again. It's your job to understand how they hear effectively so you can get the results that you desire. If you don't want the results that you desire, don't bother trying to adjust the knob. Keep on doing this. Einstein said the definition of insanity is a person doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. It's work. I know. 17 years. I'm still dealing with effects of not getting. Okay. All right, that answer your question up here?
You still didn't answer that one question though. When is the time
What's
to
the question?
leave? When
When you want to leave,
is the time to leave it alone?
or leave it alone, or leave.
Leave.
When you want to leave, the 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 decision is on the person. The time to leave is when you don't feel like working no more. The work the work may the work may give you a better result. However, the lack of work may give you a worse result. So the thing is, are you willing to work or not work? And if you ain't willing to work and you don't like the situation and you think it's gonna change, yeah, that's pretty crazy. Would you agree or disagree?
I agree.
Yeah. Some be comfortable with chaos or avoidance. It's whichever you prefer.
What if it's organized chaos?
You're still comfortable with it. I had a class, I had a class in graduate school called Psychology Education. Man, one of the best classes I ever had. The teacher did not give us any assignments. Everybody had nicknames. He gave his assignment and he didn't give any instructions. He said, figure it out. And it was all a lesson. It was all a lesson. And we developed a system in the midst of chaos. Even that's education. Oh, it was a great class. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was great.
So you just did chaos work.
What'd you say?
You
But
just admitted chaos works.
right, but if the goal was to get us to understand that there is an education in chaos. Now, the thing is, what type of education are you trying to get? That was in a classroom. It wasn't in my bedroom. It's a difference. L'Oreal said, "Don't have discussions inside the house." Said, "Change the scenery." That's good. I like
That's a
that.
good point.
Yeah,
That's a good point.
yeah, yeah. It changes whole the environment changes. It shifts you. I agree. That's a good point. Yeah. So, oh Thanos. No, see, it worked. Each day with grateful heart. Did I answer your question this time?
Yeah, it did. But why not do a series on that?
On what, Thanos? uh, L'Oreal said no slam doors. He said, don't slam no doors. I thought Lee was coming on here, but he didn't. I sent him a link. Oh well, such is life. Did I send it? Did any more questions, Phil? Or Paul, the lawyer? All right. L'Oreal says each person has to make their own decision to leave a situation. That's true. What do you think about that, Phil?
Yeah, that's true. I agree.
What are the things that what helps a person make the decision? What do you think helps a person make a decision?
I think you have to step back and look and consider pros and cons when you have a level head, not when you're mad.
Right. What's the process of getting a level head?
Leaving the situation alone, going for a walk, going to
Mm.
sleep.
And what is a level head consistent of? Well, and it's probably what I'm talking about next. What do you think a level heads consists of when in regard to your emotions or not having a level head? Having a level head or not having a level head? What's that consistent of?
Well, you slam, right. If you are slamming doors, throwing things, having an expletive argument or discussion, and most importantly, have other people get out of your business. Don't have them telling you should do this or that. Sometimes you got to do that too, not have other people in it. And sometimes they give you bad advice or their advice is biased.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's true. That's true. But if you know
So,
they're biased, why go to that
yeah.
person?
So I didn't go to that person.
The other person went to the
They
person.
brought some. Well, okay.
And that may be a thing where it's, hey, let's
What am
go.
I saying?
That may be also an opening to, you know, let's both go somewhere and see somebody.
Yeah, but see, but that's part of it. That's it. How am I in a relationship with Paula, and then her aunt comes in and tell us this and that? That's her aunt. She's automatically against me.
Right. That's why I said go to somebody else who's unbiased, relatively a professional that don't have a dog in the fight.
Exactly, professional and not a relative. Don't have anything
Right.
to do with this.
Not your pastor either.
Okay, well I might as well hang up the phone then. Shoot, what we doing, Doctor D? You the pastor?
No, nobody pay me no ties. I don't get no priestly ties. I definitely don't have no church.
Look on the screen.
Fake news, fake news. Definitely fake paper. L'Oreal said it takes two to make a thing go right. She got that from the prophet Rod Bass, the right Reverend Rod Bass. He said over and over again, it takes two. It takes two. It takes two to make a thing go right. Yeah. But yeah. Yeah, yeah, you gotta get the unbiased person. You gotta get unbiased uh, yeah, a very unbiased person to give yeah. So both of y'all could be feel. So both of y'all could feel that you're being heard because you walk in somewhere and you're like, that's his cousin. That's our cousin Pookie. And you
Of
like,
course, he gonna think she because cousin Pookie needs to get money from her.
that's right.
So
So
of
you
course
make
she gonna be in the
right, right. Yeah. So I think that is. I think we as in general, a lot of people don't go to therapy or get help. I mean, couples, individual, and really it's about evaluating who you are inside, and a lot of people are just not honest either. And people that you think your friends are not honest with you. They tell you what you want to hear because they don't want to hear your mouth. Oh yeah, man, that sounds good. But they care about you. They tell you your breath stink, or you need to put the deodorant on, or you need to stop wearing that toupee. Look like Mr. Roper on Three's Company. Yeah, so the various in those aspects, and L'Oreal said it takes two to make a relationship. It does, both ends, and sometimes it don't work. But you have to, and sometimes it don't work because both people not working or one person not working. You can't change nobody else, but you can change yourself, and that's where you always start at, and ultimately that's where you always will end at yourself. Did I answer your question?
I just tipped you.
Oh, well, you could process that in Bitcoin. Self evaluation is good. L'Oreal said self evaluation is also good for now and the future. That's true. Self evaluation is good only when you're honest though. If you always think everything you do is good, then your evaluation don't mean nothing. What y'all think?
I don't know. I think maybe you can have some room to grow, or if everything is good and perfect, that means you're really not being challenged.
That's true. That's true. I mean, but I think it's a constant value. What she stated that self evaluation is good for now and the future. It is, so you can learn how to evaluate yourself more honestly. However, with that being said, in your self evaluation may not, if not quantitated or measure on improvement, have some type of measurement, then you don't really. It's like when I play football, you measure how your strength is. You had a chart when you go to gym. Okay, three sets bench, three on the squat rack, and then you evaluate your strength by how much you can lift. But you have something that you have a guide. Some people don't have a guide, but their evaluation is always positive, but only to them. That's why you need checks and balances, I believe. But I agree, the evaluation is good, but checks and balances is good as well. It's called accountability. A lot of people don't want to be accountability. They don't want to be accountable. All right, Phil. Oh, my glasses up. Any more questions, people?
Not now. I think I do have a question, but I'm gonna put it in this week's video. I'm gonna have you answer it.
Okay. Okay. And for those who do not know, um, please check out the podcast. What Thursday I'm gonna do I'm combining the podcast, the upload as well as the upload of the regular video connected with, or the audio of the video connected with the live. And I will upload that podcast on Thursday after my live premiere replay of this. Please check it out. Check out the audio. Check out the podcast. I will put the link in the comment section tomorrow. But if you would like to see what I had previously, go to the comment section of the previous weeks and click the link. I cover about 7 podcast platforms, and you see where we are. Okay, and don't hesitate to put comments and section suggestions of topics that you would like me to cover. All right. All hearts and minds clear. Any other questions on the comments or field? Start each day with a grateful heart. That's it, Phil.
Yep, that's it.
Okay. With that being said, journeyman and journeywomen, I appreciate you all coming out and participating on this live recap, update, and Q&A on this lovely Wednesday night. It was warm, but it got cold tonight. It's going to be even colder tomorrow morning, and out there in them streets. But today and tonight, I really appreciate you all coming out and sharing and supporting the measure of what I'm doing and to help individuals. And so, with that being said, if you find any value in this content, go ahead and help me help you so we can help others. And by doing that, what I mean is that give me some likes, those thumbs up now, and even later on the replay. Give me thumbs up and share the content. Share this, share previous videos as well as audio podcasts. Share, share, share. Because when you do that, what you do is you help me. You climb with me, you join me and climb with me so we can try to make it a better tomorrow today. So, if you don't remember anything else that I've said tonight, I would love for you. I want you to remember this. Every day you get vertical, make it your goal in life to move forward and not move backwards. Because you're important. I think so. God thinks so. So, this is a hero's journey. And later on, you'll see clips up top, and you can click on these links, and you can see the previous videos. I got purpose, purpose series, as well as emotion series, and the previous video pertaining to the first part of how do you deal with your emotions, dealing with um, self reflection. That's the first one. You should see the links in the video up above. So, with that being said, this is the Hero's Journey with Dr. D, and we are out.